Hi everybody, Alex Deploy here from Expert Forex, and in today's video we're going to be talking about the grid trend multiplier and how well this particular Forex trading EA is actually doing trading the index market. And when I say well, it has traded the US 30 index and increased its value by 400% over the last 88 days. So that's pretty hot trading. And we're going to have a look at the index market in a bit more detail in this video, and also at the GTM, how it trades and how you can use it as a fantastic Forex trading tool. So let's start by having a look at how the grid trend multiplier trades. And I'm going to just start by building a grid, and there's no particular method to do this. I'm just going to use this particular method that I'm going to show you, but you can do whatever you want. But just to give you the concept of a grid, I'm going to draw a grid over this chart. It is the chart of the US 30, and it's a daily chart, and it covers more than the section that has made this fantastic return. So what I'm just going to do is I'm just going to start a grid very randomly. So I draw my first line there, and I just copy the line to the top. So that's more or less the range that the price has been moving. I'm going to go to the middle of that range. So already I've got a grid with two sections. So let's just line that up a little bit better so I've got equal. All right, so then I just do grids in the middle of those two lines like that. And then you do the same thing again. You just go into the middle of the next one. And the middle of that one, and then the middle of that one. Not very scientific, but that's basically just to give the concept of a grid, because the grid trend multiplier is a grid trader. And I'm just going to go, let's do the whole thing. Let's just do the whole thing to give you an idea. And really rough at this stage. All right, so there's a rough grid that is drawn here, and as I say, the grid trend multiplier is a grid trading EA. So what does that mean? It means that we ignore, there's no indicators, we ignore everything else. We just say that when the price touches a grid line after visiting a previous grid line, then you cash the positive trade in. So if the price moves from one line like there up to another line, you cash the positive trade in and you leave the negative trade alone. You leave it open, because sooner or later the price is going to come back and visit that trend line, and you might cash it in too. So the type of thing, and I'm going to just show you a variation, is you can enter a buy and a sell at the very same time at each grid level. So the basic rule for that is enter a buy and a sell at every grid level. Then when the price, let's say in this example again, moves up, you cash in the positive buy and you open a buy and a sell at the very next level. Then when it moves up again, you cash in the buy and you enter buy and a sell at the next level. And you just wait, those sells remain open, and then sooner or later the price comes back and collects all those sells. So you've cashed in all the buys on the way up and all the sells on the way up, and then it goes like that. And these are almost ideal conditions for grid trading, because the price is going up and down the whole time, and revisiting these grid levels over and over again, and you're cashing every time it touches a grid level, you cash again and cashing in and cashing in. So there are two ways of trading the grid trend multiplier. Firstly, you can trade a buy and a sell method. So in other words, you don't know which direction the price is moving, so you say, all right, I'll buy and sell at each grid level. So it enters a buy and a sell. Or if you're clever and you know trading and all that type of thing, and you know how to identify turning points in the market and trends and things like that, you can actually trade it in one direction. So let's say when the price was down here, you somehow knew that the price was going to reverse and shoot up like crazy. Then what you do is, instead of doing a buy and a sell at that point in the grid, you actually just buy. So you just buy. Now there's advantage to that, because you're buying there, it goes back, and it goes back there again. So you're buying again at the same level. Again up here, it goes past, it comes back, it goes up, you buy again, it goes down, you buy again. So you continuously repeating the same transaction over and over again, and that is why it's called the grid trend multiplier, because instead of just earning, let's say, 200 pips going up, that you could actually earn 300 or even 400 pips in a trend like that. That's why it's called the grid trend multiplier. And even if there's no trend, that it likes it even more when you're trading a buy and a sell, because it then just multiplies all the trades upwards and downwards all the time. So having said that, the grid trend multiplier is a trading tool. The trader must decide whether he wants to trade one way or the other way, or in both ways. And if the trader wants to trade both ways, the biggest thing that the trader must decide is how big those gaps should be. How many pips should those gaps be? So that's in essence how grid trend multiplier trading works. It's as simple as that. You decide the strategy you want to do, buy or sell, or one direction, and then you decide on the grid size, and it's as simple as that. Now, this is exactly what's happened with the US 30 and various other indexes. We've basically traded it on a buy and sell basis, cashing in on every single up movement or down movement that the market makes. Now, that overview was most probably quite confusing and not really very well done, but I have done 26 videos already this year about grid trend multiplier trading, and there's a lot of videos that will help you understand how the grid trend multiplier trades. And please go to this playlist on YouTube and view the videos that look interesting to you and that might be educational. There are a few good ones that actually show the techniques that you can use and give you ideas of how to use this particular EA. And let's go and have a look at the results. Okay, so here are the results of the grid trend multiplier trading the US 30 index. And you can see the results are pretty good. 400% return over an 88-day period, almost 100% success rate, and so on. And there have been drawdowns, and those drawdowns are basically when you can set the grid to say, all right, if the losses are becoming too big, cash in the losses, and we'll rather reduce the risk in this trading. And that's what in fact happened. Some of the losses were cashed in, but look how quickly the grid trend multiplier replaced those gains that were lost. So here are the results. It did trade on a buy and sell basis. It was the US 30, 400% return over an 88 period. Okay, so let's move on. But then we look at the grid trend multiplier trading 7 of our indexes, and you can see on the side here it's the US 200, the FTSE, the German, the Nasdaq, the SPY, the US 30, and I think the Japanese index is missing from here. That's under the other, and there you can see the activity that has taken place. And this is trading 7 indexes on 7 accounts. Each account has 3 versions of the settings, and we'll have a look at that in a little bit more detail. And we are testing and trading these indexes to try and get the very best settings that we can find in terms of which grid size we should be using, and so on. Now you can see overall the return has been 100% for those 7 accounts, so pretty good return. And here's a breakdown of the accounts that went into the trading, and you can see there are 7 accounts, there's 7 indexes that were traded, and the closed profits are over there, all nicely positive, and really this is where the US 30 really played a big role. Look at the close profits over there. But then there are open trades, so you mustn't just look at the close profits, you must look at the equity. Just subtract 10,000 from that number, because that's what we started with, and you can see the gains that were made. So there would be 43, 7, 5, 2 and 300 and that, and a small loss in that particular one. So we're still refining the settings on these particular lower ones, but certainly we got it right with the US 30. So here's the website for the grid trend multiplier. Great. It's been around, this grid trend multiplier has been around for about 7 years, so it's a long time. Lots of tests have gone into it. Lots of competitions have been won using this particular EA because it is so powerful. And here's an example of the most recent competition we had, which ended in January this year, and you can see the grid trend multiplier had a fantastic return of over 300%, and all the competitors did pretty well in this particular one. So it beat all the other 14 EAs that were traded in this competition, and had a really good return. The competition ran for 2 months, so that was 300% over a 2-month period. But again, I must remind you, this is a trading tool. It's not a set and forget, put your settings in and go. The trader determines what grid size they're going to have, which currencies they're going to trade, and that type of thing. It's very uncomplicated because there's no indicators, so you can trade it on any time frame because you're trading grid levels. The biggest risk with this one is the open deals. That are kept open as you're going the wrong way, they do accumulate exponentially, but that is the trick, and you can easily reduce the risk by having just bigger gap sizes, so it doesn't open so many trades in the wrong direction. It's a very simple EA in essence. Okay, then just a quick reminder that our 80% bundle offer is still on. If you look at the grid trend multiplier, it sells for $280. The whole bundle of 17 EAs will only cost you $645. So it is really a big saving, this particular bundle. Okay, so those settings that we looked at, or those results that we looked at, were as a result of settings that are recorded in our Forex Trading Setups forum. Those settings are available to the members of that forum. It is a paid forum, and you can see how they are recorded here. We've been trading the grid trend multiplier and make money EA. The grid trend multiplier is by far more superior for trading indexes than the make money EA. And there are the settings, so you click on that and you can get the settings that we used. But then again, you would use those as a guideline because you would create your own strategy, you'd design your own grid, and you would trade accordingly. Now, I hope you found this video interesting, and that you've got a better idea of how the grid trend multiplier works and what a big potential it has to generate above average returns for users that are competent at using it as a Forex trading tool rather than an EA. It's not the kind of EA that you can buy and say, all right, give me the settings. No. You have to create your own setting. You have to decide which currencies you have to trade. If you want to trade a trending currency, you've got to find a currency to trend and trade it in that direction. If you want to trade a sideways currency, you find currencies that are going sideways and you trade them on a buy and a sell basis. Very creative Forex trading tool, very interesting one, and I can thoroughly recommend it for strategic traders that really think about what the market's doing and how they can structure their grid trend multiplier strategies. So from me, Alex Deploy, cheerio.